The question is, in Houston, do I need to get flood insurance? That's not even a question. The answer is yes. But let's break it down here. So in Houston, and of course they're coming out this Flood 2.0, which all of us haven't memorized yet, but going back to the current existing that we've been going by for years, you've got a couple different categories that you want to look at. You've got floodway, where you're actually in a riverbed or a creek bed or a bayou bed where you can't do anything. You can't build there. You can't do anything. If you do, your house is way up on its stilts and you have to get special permits and engineering. We're going to say floodway, that's out. Now, let's go into Zone A and AE. So Zone A and Zone AE are in a flood zone. You will be required to have flood insurance if you buy in that by your mortgage company, and dang sure you just personally want to have it. Now, any new construction that's going to be built in an AE is going to have to be elevated. You're going to have to go through the county, which you'd have to anyway as you're getting building permits, and they're going to tell you exactly how high your home has to be up on piers or stilts, what have you. Now, A and AE are in kind of the same category. A, there's no base flood elevation set. Mostly we deal with AE here, where there's a certain base flood elevation. And if that area falls under the base flood elevation, then you're going to be required to have flood insurance to build the house up above out of it. Even though you're built out of that flood zone, you're still going to be required by your lender to carry flood insurance. You want to have it anyway, like I said. Now, the meaning of this is that there's a 1% chance every year that your home could flood. It could not flood ever. It could have flooded 3 or 4 or 5 times. I know of homes that have flooded 5 times in Houston. AEA, you're definitely going to want to be knowledgeable of that. Is it a disaster? No. I've owned homes in a flood zone that have never flooded, and it's been fine. I've owned homes outside of a flood zone that have flooded. Once again, you'll work through it, but you always want to have flood insurance. Rent houses, by the way. You always want to have flood insurance. Now, let's jump into Zone X500 and Zone X. These are called outside of your flood risk areas. In Houston, you're still going to want to always have flood insurance. I know plenty of people, especially in Harvey, Memorial Day and Tax Day floods, which was 15, 16, and 17, that did flood that were not in a flood zone. Let's step on to X500. X500, you have a 0.2% chance of flooding each and every year. You are not required to carry flood insurance, although recommended. And then Zone X says you're outside of a special flood zone area. You're less than 1%, I guess negligibly 0, that you would be flooded. Because if X500 is 0.2, X would be less than that. Zone X, unshaded, means you're outside of a flood hazard area, although in Houston, you're never far from a flood zone. So my recommendation on flood insurance, 100% of the time, it helps you sleep at night, and it's rather inexpensive, especially if you're above the base flood elevation. Could be between $500, $700, maybe $1,100 a year. Definitely an amount small enough to help you sleep at night and preserve the value of your home. Call me. If you found this video helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe and check out our others. Thanks for watching.